Hello there, fellow bookish beings. It's Jessica. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. I'm the bookish Filipino who wants to get serious in my love for books, share my imperfect adventures, and maybe meet some kindred spirits along the way. And today, we are going to talk about the 8 books that I have finished for March and April as a slow reader with a full working schedule. Not a full-time reading schedule, unfortunately, but we will work on that. And without any further ado, let's discuss some books. And can we just appreciate my new strawberry mug? I love it so much. Okay, let's go. So the first book I want to talk about is What We Can Know by Ian McEwan. This was set in a climate-ravaged future where a scholar becomes obsessed with reconstructing the life of this previously great poet. Basically, he wants to know where the physical copy of this long-lost poem is, and it's called the Corona. I gave it 3 stars because it was intellectually intriguing, what with the great flooding, the continent submerged, the national AI system, the hard-hitting environmental questions and discussions. And I also did not see the point of view shift that was introduced in the later parts of the book. However, the ending was really plot focused rather than the environmental themed that I thought it would end up giving because of all the build-up around it, and that's why I ultimately ended up rating it 3 stars. But this would be perfect for readers who are looking for a speculative fiction with philosophical questions behind it. Now, after this quite dense book, I was looking for something light, and that is how I discovered Assistant to the Villain by Nicole Maehrer. I had no idea what this book was about. Of course, the title gave it away. It was about a morally gray character, but I ended up loving it so much. We follow Evie, who becomes employed by the villain, only to discover that he is, of course, far more complex and charming, very charming, than she actually thought him to be. This was a 5-star surprise for me, as I was saying, because the characters were just so lovable and there was this undeniable chemistry between Evie and the villain, although I was craving for some darker origin about the villain because of all the build-up around it. But then again, the pacing was great, the magic system was there, and the characters were just so charming. This is perfect for readers who are craving for that funny fantasy with workplace romance. After that lighthearted read, I wanted something deep and emotionally complex, something chunky. And that is exactly this book, Middlemarch by George Eliot. This is a sweeping portrait of life in a provincial English town, following interconnected characters who are navigating love, ambition, and just life in general. This is a 5-star. Actually, if it's possible to have a 10-star read, this is it for me. It has definitely made my favorite books of all time. And if you can see, I have loved this book so much that it now looks like this. Really, this has a special place in my heart now. If you're interested in starting your reading journey towards chunkier classics, I recommend you start with Middlemarch because the writing is quite accessible compared to other authors, for example, Dickens or Proust, even Tolstoy. This has a lot of characters, but to me it was easier to follow than Tolstoy's characters. The writing was very witty, it was clever, it was funny, and while it's true that there is, some heavy political context, it was more to give color to what was happening at the time, but it will definitely not hamper your reading experience because of the characters. I mean, it was It was incredibly written and very touching. It really focuses on the lives of people and how one choice affects multiple lives. So yeah, I definitely recommend this book to anyone who just wants to read about life. Now, after that chunky book, which was quite a reading journey, I made several shorts about it. If you need a guide to read Middlemarch, I will link it down below or in the cards over here. I needed something quick and very, very, very fast-paced, and that's how I ended up reading, finally, The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. I gave this book 4 stars. I definitely enjoyed it. We follow Millie, an ex-con who gets employed to be a housemaid in this seemingly perfect family, only to discover that they have very dark and twisted secrets. I thought this book was overhyped, and that is why I resisted reading it for a long time, but it was definitely gripping, and the reveal made my jaw drop. Despite all of the spoilers that I have heard about this book, the only thing is that I didn't really like the writing. The prose of the book was definitely not my style. To me, it sounded very blunt. It was almost too straightforward for me, but I understand because, you know, it helps with the pacing and build-up of the story. But yeah, that was my only thing about it, I suppose. Definitely recommend it for readers who love fast-paced psychological thrillers. And so after that heart trepidation causing book, I couldn't get enough of the murder vibes. I don't know if that's the correct thing to say. And so I ended up picking The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Haddon. This book was incredible, and this is another example of prose that is not my style as well, but I appreciated the prose in this book, and I'll tell you why in a second. But let me just tell you that in this book we follow Christopher, a mathematically gifted boy who has Asperger's syndrome, and we basically follow him in his quest to find out who murdered his neighbor's dog, only then to uncover deeper truths about himself along the way. Now, this was a 4-star read for me. I laughed, I thinked, I cried, almost all at the same time. And this was written in Christopher's point of view, so we definitely see through his eyes. And I was saying about the writing, about the prose, that for this one, I appreciated why the prose is quite straightforward, because the intention is for us to understand how Christopher thinks and feels, how he processes the world. And that was the main difference between the prose of this that I appreciated versus that of The Housemaid. I hope that that makes sense for somebody out there as well. I would love to hear your thoughts about the kind of prose that you like in books. Anyway, I digress. I definitely recommend this for readers who are looking for a very quirky murder mystery and something also heartfelt. Reading this book, it made me very curious about people who have this kind of neurological disease, because it makes you really aware of their struggles and why they act the way they do, and what you can best do when there is someone around you who has this neurological challenge. Very heartfelt book. After all of that murder vibes, I was now craving for something whimsical, and so that's how I discovered The Spellshop by Beth Durst. This book felt like a warm hug. We follow a librarian who is fleeing the dangers of an uprising in the city, along with her sentient plant. Yep, that's her sidekick, a sentient talking plant, only then to return to her childhood island where she rebuilds her life. her spell shop or her jam shop. I rated this 4 stars. It was very cozy, very whimsical, magical. My favorite character was definitely Kaz, the talking plant. I mean, if I can magically create Kaz, I think most of my problems would be solved. Anyway, I just wanted, I suppose, a bit more oomph to the action in the story, because there was a part that was a little bit more exciting, but I also understand that this is a low stakes fantasy. This book definitely challenged my imagination in a way that I wasn't expecting, and I will leave that for you to discover. So this is perfect for readers who love their cozy, low stakes fantasy with great world building. After all this cozy and whimsical vibes, I overcorrected with a grisly and gruesome book, which is Victorian Psycho by Virginia Feito. This was about a governess who has a very disturbing mind navigating Victorian society, and I gave this 3 stars. I really thought that I would be into this book. It was undeniably gripping, and it has chilling unpredictability, and the eerie and gothic atmosphere was definitely there, but it was just so hard for me to understand the motivations of the character. There were just several sort of nonsensical violence, like the infanticides. Sometimes it felt like it was just dark for dark. So if that is the kind of vibe or the kind of book that you're looking for, like just something dark and grisly, then this book is definitely perfect for that. But again, just some content warning for those of you not very used to reading very gruesome and very, not even wicked, not even cruel, but it's just dark details. So and so I wanted to cap off my reading months with something that is, again, warm, going back to the lighter side, and that is when I have finally read The Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirahama. If you can see, this is actually in French. I read mangas in French. It's a part of my French reading language journey, and this was an easy 5 stars for me. I mean, the illustrations are so gosh darn beautiful. We follow Coco, a young girl who discovers that magic isn't innate, but you can actually learn it. And so we follow her as she becomes an apprentice to this magical scholar and her journey into becoming a witch. Honestly, Coco's wonder and sense of enthusiasm took me back to the feeling that I had when I first arrived in France. The magic system was very intuitive and intriguing as well. I love this book. It's very immersive, and it's definitely perfect for readers who are looking for that magical, whimsical fantasy with strong world building. And again, the illustrations of this manga are so beautiful. I am not a manga expert. I've just gotten into the game recently, but wow, this book has some great illustrations. It's incredible. That is it for my March and April reading wrap up. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read any of these books, if you have any book recommendations for me, or if I am such a tough reviewer not giving 5 stars easily. I would love to have a bookish chat with you, and if you can like and subscribe to my channel, that would really help me out a lot. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and as always, I will see you in the next book. Bye!